Hey, what's up guys? It's SkyToonMeeple Gaming. It's about time to switch things up. Hey, what's up guys? It's SkyToonMeeple Gaming here, and today we are joined by
The Mysterious Voice, and I am here to help SkyToon talk about and discuss the new trailer for the story mode in Smash Ultimate.
Before we start discussing it, we're gonna take a look at the trailer.
What exactly caused all these characters to lose their bodies and transform into spirits? I'll show you how it all begins, and leave the rest to your imagination.
Don't let a single one get away!
We'll each need to take down about 10.
Stow your fear. It's now or never.
We'll win this. I know we will.
Glimmering shadows, silence grows in a space
what it starts off with is what happened on that fateful day. Basically, it's leading into why are there spirits? Why is there spirit mode? And it's also the new adventure mode in the story, but there has to be a reason that all these characters just turned into spirits. So this pretty much explains it. What did you think about how they did that, the introduction?
The way I see it that they're doing is they're killing two birds with one stone. There were a lot of people that wanted a similar story mode like Subspace Emissary, and there also had to be a justification for the new spirit mechanic that they're adding, which is basically like the stickers from Brawl, and also removing the trophies. So they're using the story mode as a way to justify them creating the spirits.
So right off the bat, we get Fox, and he's aiming his gun at something, but we're not sure what that is. And then we see all of the characters on the ledge just looking at something. To our surprise, it's
a bunch of master hands.
And if you guys don't remember what that is, that was the boss
of Subspace Emissary and Brawl. He was a character created for that mode. He was a blue guy with butterfly wings.
Then you see they're all just coming from the sky in this giant vortex. What would you say that's about?
I'd say it's like a kind of why is Master Hand here? Because since the first game, he's always been kind of a weird character, even though the theory that's been confirmed actually by this direct is that the Smash characters are toys that come to life in an imagination, and the hand represents the child or person playing with those toys. But I guess what they're going with this story mode is they're going like, why is Master Hand here and what is he?
That's crazy. So you're saying that the hands represent us?
Yeah. What I always saw was Master Hand is either the right or left hand, and Crazy Hand is the left or right hand. It's two hands of the same person.
And then the toys are like the amiibos, basically.
Yeah, that's why they're all represented by trophies.
That's crazy. So there's a way deeper story than what meets the eye. Something I noticed is that the Master Hands come, and then the Master Hand starts to just go away.
The glove deteriorates, shows what's inside the glove.
And keep in mind, this is like kind of still tied in with spirits. So when the glove deteriorates, it shows almost like the glow of a spirit hand.
What I'm thinking is that essence that fills the Master Hands but ultimately turns them into spirits.
Then we see it explode. But before that, it struck me the first time I saw this. Right before it explodes, it goes to Shulk and zooms in on his eye. Then you see all the stuff happening, you know, all the characters getting destroyed and dying. And for a split second, it goes back to him, and he's like, oh my gosh, this is gonna happen. So I don't know if he sees the future, but it's right before it happens.
I'm not a huge aficionado on Xenoblade, but I actually saw an Instagram post that was all the splash pages from Smash 4, like the character descriptions, and Shulk foresees a fight, and I think one of the things in Xenoblade is that he has like the ability to see into the future, like foresight and stuff like that, which it ultimately doesn't mean anything because he doesn't prevent anything. He just turns around and then everyone dies.
Then after that, we see a black hole forming from that portal that eventually goes crazy, wipes out every single character. Everybody tries to fight it. Unfortunately, they don't have a great outcome except for one character.
I think it's because these are all moving at the speed of light. From Sonic, who was helping Pikachu, that's kind of the justification for why he dies. None of them can move at supersonic or past the speed of light in terms of speed. So you have these heat-seeking energy beams, and even in R-Wings, they have no chance of escaping. The trailer's attention to detail, if you rewind it, and you see as soon as Palutena dies, Pit and Dark Pit die as well, because they lose their flight ability. And that's part of the Kid Icarus Uprising thing, is only because of Palutena's power they can both fly.
As all the characters are dying, we get to the end of that. There's a huge amount of lights happening, but the one remaining character is Kirby, and he's going as fast as he can, surfing on his star, trying to avoid dying like the rest of them, and then he disappears. So, is there something that he can teleport?
From what I read in Instagram comment sections, that's what I did before this because I'm a nerd. Apparently, those are called warp stars, and they move past the speed of light and stuff like that. And what happens when he disappears is that he warps.
As the light keeps expanding, it takes over Earth, it takes over other planets, it takes over the universe. It just goes crazy as the Earth is exploding and all the other planets. Then it goes back to where all the spirits are now. They're all just kind of floating in this wasteland, it seems. What do you think about this scene?
I think it's kind of just to show that they didn't die, but their bodies are gone, but they're living on as spirits, and that the vortex doesn't kill people, it just changes them into spirits.
And Kirby comes back into the world from teleportation, crash lands with his star, he face plants into the dirt, and the good part is he's alive. Unfortunately, he is all alone. There's nobody else.
Of course, this man is alive. He is the pink puffball, the eater of worlds.
He gets up and he sees this whole world.
It kind of looks like a combination of a bunch of Nintendo worlds. Like the mountain in the background looks like Death Mountain from Breath of the Wild.
Yes!
And I think in the very back, I see a castle. That might be Peach's castle.
Maybe the rainbows from like Kirby Dreamland. As it keeps going up, you see floating islands. Maybe we're in Skylands now.
That would be something. Spyro is DLC.
Yes!
Sakurai created Kirby, and he's the one who's making Smash Bros. And a lot of people have made it the connection, and I have too, that Sakurai always has a bias towards Kirby in his games, and that's why Kirby is the only one to survive. Sakurai's creation is the one who has to bail all the other Nintendo characters and various third-party characters out of the mess that's happened because of the Master Vortex.
What is this? That's that symbol that took them all out.
That's the Vortex, the person that sent all the Master Hand.
So you think that somebody is controlling this sort of like a crystal ball and sending the Master Hands to destroy everybody?
That might be it, yeah.
And this is like where he operated?
Most likely. In the clouds, something like that. Yeah, that would make sense.
Okay, so this is where it starts to get intense. You see Mario standing on a warp pipe that really doesn't look like a warp pipe anymore. It's grayed out. But he seems to be stuck in this wiring, and then this gold, I think it is, gets poured over his body. He gets transported into like this golden form underneath the platform. And honestly, the platform kind of looks like an amiibo from this angle, but...
Yeah, the flat surface.
It
does look like an amiibo platform.
Yeah, but something happens to him. He transforms into this statue, and then he starts to turn from gold to silver, and he drops off the platform onto his head, and then this floating orb that looks like it's a skull inside of it. Maybe that's Mario's spirit or something like that. Brings him, kind of wakes him up, and drags his body up. Unfortunately, it turns him evil because...
You can tell he's evil because of the red eyes.
Yeah, so I don't know what happened. What do you think all that was just about?
I think that the molten metal was creating a copy of Mario's body. And, like, the main enemy is sending us evil spirits that are inhabiting these clone bodies, and we have to fight them throughout the story mode.
And maybe that since the person killed all of these characters, he's using the good spirits into the evil people that he's making. You see Mario just completely disturbing now. He's not the fun Mario we know and love. And then you get to see the map. So pressing L shows you the full map, and pressing R is tilting the map. Plus and minus are menu buttons. But first place we see on the map is called
Smoky Prague. What I think this explains is the green orb that has the red eyes. I think that is the spirit that's inhabiting those bodies, and that's what's turning them evil. And what I think, you go through normal stages, and you'll come to a boss stage where you fight one of the possessed characters, and then when you beat them, you unlock that character to fight with. You start with Kirby, and you slowly unlock more and more of the roster. And Metal Shift, I'm pretty sure it just means he has the metal coat on, like the metallic body.
And then where it says party, off to the right of that, you see Kirby's icon.
So Mario is probably the first character you save.
What are we going to call this version of Mario?
We're calling him evil. We're just gonna call him
Evil Mario.
Evil Mario.
Evil
Yeah.
Mario. Okay, so you see Evil Mario fighting Kirby, and Kirby whacks him and turns him into Metal Mario, it looks like.
And at the top, you can see enemy metal shift. So that's the battle condition. And here we see the evil army of the entire roster.
And I wonder if this goes even deeper, that it's like each person has their turn in line. So Kirby fights Mario first, and that's why he's in the center. And then once he gets done with and beaten, the next one steps up to try to fight Kirby.
You think like the room will slowly empty out, and every time we fight an enemy, you'll see them in front and stuff like that. Actually, it's probable.
I feel like there should be, if there's not going to be, some kind of cool cutscenes with all these like evil characters now.
Yeah, I'm sure there will be. That'd be kind of a huge missed opportunity.
So, as we keep going, you see some gameplay.
There's actually 4 evil inklings in that one, so it might imply that you won't just fight them one-on-one. Sometimes you may have to fight up to 7 of them in the story mode, which would make for more challenging boss fights, I'm sure.
Now we see the map again, and there is the indicator of where you are hovering over, what area. So, right here, it goes to the middle, and then it goes to the left, but it shows a character that's obviously evil because of the red eyes. So now I'm thinking, this is like where you're going to go each time. You're going to go follow a certain path that leads to each different person you're going to fight.
You know what would be really cool, though, is if it's split depending on franchise. Like, you'll fight Marth here, and the next person you fight, depending on that rainbow cloud, would be Roy or Ike or someone else. And it would split depending on franchise. And as you go, like, the clouds would clear up and it would go to an actual Fire Emblem-based area. That'd be kind of cool, but I don't see it happening.
As Kirby defeats Marth, he starts going along the hillside and sees where he fights Blaze the cat.
What I think that you're not fighting them is those are like, you know how like the spirits are like their own separate thing that buff your fighters? Like you'll be able to find separate ones that you don't fight along the overworld. That's how you get some of them.
So you think you just gather some along the way?
Yeah, like you would go up to this, just press the button, and bam, you now have Blaze the cat.
And she's added to your team?
She can buff your team, like what the spirits do.
Then we see the Master Hand slam down on the waterfall there, and maybe they're just placed different places around the map, and he acts as like a bridge to cross, because Kirby's on the left, and there was no way across that other than what just happened.
I think it may also be like artificial, like roadblocks, like you aren't allowed to go to this area yet because if you followed that path, it would lead you to the end of the game or like the final area. So he's there to block you off until you're powerful enough to get there.
So then there's a character that jumps off a ledge into a waterfall, and you see just all sorts of different places.
That's Ness down there, and I think this may actually confirm my theory. I'm sorry to cut you off like that. But this looks like an Earthbound-inspired area, so maybe there will be specific areas depending on franchises that these characters come from.
And then you see, like, different foods. So I don't know, like, maybe these are just the items that you get throughout your fights, because I do see some things that have been in Smash before. Ness is running through that area. Then you see Pokemon Trainer.
You get to ride Pokemon like Lapras along the oceans, which probably means that the overworld will be much more expansive than we know.
Well, I guess you can, like, cross oceans to go to new levels, and maybe there's something hidden. Like, maybe it's not just you go straight to what direction you tilt your stick, but maybe it's almost open world where you can swim wherever you want. It looks like right there a spirit called the Merman in the ocean. Then there's this place on the map that's like conveyor belts or something.
I want to say that's Mega Man based, but you know, just because robots, but I'm not sure.
There's a lot of sparks and electricity going on. Then you get to the middle of these like runes right here, and then Lucas sees a jewel explode. Someone just pressed a button which actually made the blocks come up, which is like in Super Mario Bros. That if you had a certain amount of time, you press the button, get to your objective. Let's say you're getting a star coin, these blocks will be up for as long as they can once you press that button, and there's like a limited time. So I think that's what we're seeing here. That's just to be able to cross this lava. This basically just zooms out of the world.
It shows you the full expanse of the map, and since there's so many clouds, we can assume those are meant to block off areas you're not supposed to be there yet. So the map is actually much bigger than we see here, and it's probably going to be a very long adventure mode based on this. This is just showing that you get to collect spirits from the overworld.
And this is pairing whatever character you want to a spirit to help fight in battle.
This is like a skill tree for fighters, or like amiibo or something like that.
So that's what this could be. It seems like every time you do something, you learn a new lesson. So maybe that's increasing your fighting power or your defensive power, something like that.
I was going to say, I think it's cool that Shantae is in here, because she's another indie character, which means there's more indie characters in here besides Shovel Knight as an assist trophy. And I was actually proven wrong by my previous thought that you actually have to fight enemies for those spirits. But here you're fighting Zero Suit Samus for the Shantae spirit.
There's also a place on the map that just looks like a space. So, you know what I'm actually thinking? These, like, right here, the space levels, it seems like different planets. Which, if you remember back to the very beginning of this video, you see that while all of humanity is being wiped out by that blast, it shows all these planets. So maybe it's an even bigger map, and it's just going... That small part is just what we saw on Earth. Maybe it's getting to be all of these planets.
That'd be kind of cool, I would say. Or maybe that's where the final area is. It's in space or something like that.
And then it looks like there's a ship headed toward a planet. So maybe there's different ways of travel. So in the water, you ride a water-type Pokemon. In space, you ride a spaceship. And there's Falco. So maybe that's his ship. Then you see Isabelle going toward a level, and it looks like she unlocked Twintelle. So there's ARMS characters to get.
And Metal Gear characters. I would just like to make an arbitrary comment that Isabelle with red eyes just doesn't fit, especially with the official art. Joyful with red evil eyes, it just doesn't work.
This is kind of, it almost reminds me of a Pac-Man type effect.
I think this might be actually the Pac-Man area in the overworld.
So maybe it's either like a maze to get to the level you're going or a Pac-Man area. I honestly now really think that this is open world, that you can go where you want instead of like Mario Tennis Aces where you have to go to a specific location and you can't like run around or something. So this, I mean, that's a dead end it looks like to me right now. So it wouldn't just lead you there. So I'm kind of thinking it's your own movement in this game.
Yeah, I think you'll be able to go to certain areas, and from there you'll be able to explore to your heart's content.
Then you see Rathalos, and he's flying to his nest right there, and it looks like he's got some chests. So I don't know, maybe he's one of the main bosses in the story mode. The Inkling girl is running toward this portal. So I wonder if this is like the final place.
When you go through that portal and when you continue the trailer, it actually shows that it opens up and there's a boss from Subspace Emissary there. I can't remember its name off the top of my head because I haven't played Subspace Emissary in years. As some of the Smash created characters are returning for this mode. It's one of the bosses from Subspace Emissary, and he has the red glowing eyes.
It looks like he's a robot rhino.
Yeah, something like that. I can't remember much from Subspace Emissary off the top of my head. I just know he was a boss you fought twice in there.
And then the Inkling girl doesn't have the red eyes, so maybe this is who she fights once she gets freed. Then you see the portal again, all of the Master Hands floating around it, and that's it. The story mode is called World of Light.
I think this is shaping up to be a really good story mode, and it could actually... Because a lot of people had complaints with Subspace Emissary, but I've seen a lot of people coming out like, oh, I liked it, now that they're wanting another story mode. I think it could fix some of the complaints people had with Subspace Emissary and such.
That is our major points of the trailer at the very end of the Nintendo Direct on November 1st, 2018. I cannot wait for this game. Let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think about this trailer? What are you most excited for in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate? And
I want to play as the Piranha Plant.
And let me know what was your favorite part of the Nintendo Direct. So yeah, that is about it.
And I'm glad that you invited me to help talk to you about this, because it was a great discussion. I think you brought up a lot of good points that I hadn't thought about before.
Alright, well thank you so much for coming on here and helping out to talk about this.
It was a pleasure.
Alright, well that is it for this video. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, share, and also please go and check out the Mysterious Voices YouTube channel. I will leave a link to that in the description below, and I will see you in the next videos to come.
Bye-bye.